What's a common career path to an ESPN Radio Sports Center anchor position?
Well, let's see. I was hired in late 1998, and I can report that there hasn't been a full-time anchor hired since. That's how tough it is to either break in or have somebody leave. I don't know, one or the other on that one. I find the commonality of the 5 or 6 of us that are full-time is we all came from a radio background. Um, Many of us came from radio play-by-play background with a little bit of news. I think we have one anchor who came from a TV news background, but he obviously had done radio in the past for many years on the side. But all of us worked in small markets and then medium markets. Some of us had a little bit of big market experience, but I'd say the common trait is we all didn't arrive at ESPN, and that was our first job. We all went to where we could do everything. All of us have been play-by-play guys, have been reporters, have been studio hosts. We've even, in the old days, cut tape. I know not everything's now digital, but we all edited. We all did the interviews. And so I find that we're very hands-on. We can do everything. I'd say at ESPN, we haven't had to do everything. So I don't know how well we do all those other things now. But just knowing how everything else is done and the process has probably helped us to get a job at ESPN.
So that might be a little discouraging for somebody who's young and just starting out. So what would you suggest to give them a little bit of encouragement?
Well, every time that I speak to college kids, and I speak to an awful lot of them, I always tell them, if you want to start at ESPN, you have to start ground floor, and that is most likely not on the air. And it's tough to get on the air because people don't leave jobs very often. And when they do, sometimes they're replaced by other people with experience. So oftentimes I will say, take any job, whether it's in Boise, Idaho, Gainesville, Florida. If you're fortunate enough to get a medium-sized market, Cleveland, or you can get to Dallas, who knows? Maybe you could start in New York, Los Angeles, or Chicago. But just do everything you can to get experience, to make contacts in the industry, to accept criticism, constructive criticism, and then just be ready to blanket the market with tapes or MP3s and hope to get a shot, because there aren't a lot of jobs out there, unfortunately. But sports radio is everywhere, and even some remote destinations where they only have a couple of day parts that are local. If you're willing to go far away and work for very little, the reward in the end is pretty good.